going on YouTube? It's Chris back from the Oracle Film Club with a yap. Today I'm going to be talking about something we found at a thrift store that I thought was really interesting. To start off, are any of you old enough to remember the Spice Girls? I mean, I might be outing myself here in my age, but while I was playing Twisted Metal in the bedroom, the girls were in the other room listening, blasting Spice Girls. If you want to be my lover, first you gotta be my friend, I think. I don't know. Besides the music, which is amazing, by the way, a lot of great things came from the Spice Girls, Spice World era. And one of those things is something we found at the thrift store. It's this a Spice Cam Polaroid, a Spice Girls themed Polaroid, or a Spice Girls branded Polaroid, which is funny. It's strange what kind of things you can find at a thrift store. If you're not thrifting, then you're missing out. Honestly, the Spice Cam takes 600 film. Which is really cool because there's no batteries in this. The batteries come from the film itself. When you buy a cartridge, the cartridge has a battery. You insert it into the camera, and it powers the entire unit, which is, I don't know, it's neat. It's cool. It takes a lot of the fuss out of owning a camera. It's just one less thing you got to find batteries for, which is lovely. The funny thing, though, is when I found the camera, I also found a cartridge of film at the thrift store. And this film expired back in 2013. So I knew, on one hand, yeah, I'm getting this film for like super cheap, which is great because I get to test out the camera. You never know, if something's going to work the way as it's intended when you get it from a thrift store. So I was like, sure, why not? Let's get this. And of course, the photos were expired, but it was nice to test out the camera. And despite them being a bit off in color, it was still a ton of fun to shoot. We go thrifting pretty often over here, and pretty much every time we go out, we find a Polaroid in some form or another. So I'd say no matter where you are in the United States, if you're going thrifting, you can probably find one of these, which is great because, thrifting a Polaroid is much more affordable than buying one brand new. Even though buying a brand new Polaroid offers you all the advantages of a modern Polaroid. But then again, even if you buy a newer Polaroid, you can't really expect too much in the way of quality. Polaroids aren't so much about producing grand works of art. And, don't get me wrong, lots of people have used Polaroids in fantastic fashion in the world of art and photography. I think, though, for the average consumer, Polaroids are a bit of a novelty, a toy, or really just like a tool of accessibility. And I think that's what's best about Polaroids is how accessible they are. You don't really need to know much about photography or the ins and outs of operating a camera system. In most cases, especially in the case of the Spice Cam, you really just point and shoot. And with their simplicity and their fun form factor, I mean, of course, they're just a lot of fun to shoot and use. Then, of course, the pack that we got from the thrift store was a color pack and expired, and it was great for testing, but, I prefer shooting in black and white. Luckily for me, Polaroid recently released a updated formula for their black and white chemistry, which is great because while I've always been aware, at least acutely, of Polaroid as a tool for photography, I was never really impressed with their black and white instant photos. Anytime I've ever seen one, I just always said, that's not great. I don't like that. Then again, I was never really impressed with instant photography as a whole. I mean, like I said, they're fun and they're accessible and they're easy to use. And that's mostly why I use them. I think it's why most people use them. But the new black and white chemistry from Polaroid is an improvement on the past. And I was curious to see how much so. So we ordered a pack and we decided to go shoot. So between my wife and I, we grabbed 3 cameras. We grabbed our Nikon FA, we grabbed our Chinon Genesis, a really cool bridge camera from a few decades ago, both shooting in 35 millimeter. And then, of course, we loaded the new black and white Polaroid film in our Spice Cam. And then we headed over to a local brewery where they're having a car show. And we just spent the afternoon having fun shooting photos. Now, of course, bringing the 3 cameras offered us a opportunity to shoot with different kinds of cameras and then compare the results of those 3 cameras. Of course, with the Nikon being a more advanced tool for creativity and control, and then the Chinon Genesis being a more involved point and shoot with its built-in lens controls, we knew that these two cameras are going to give us better results than the Spice Cam. And as you'll see here, it's definitely the case. And despite that, every time we pulled out the Spice Cam and took a photo, we'd turn around and see the other with a huge smile on their faces. And we just had a blast using this camera. And I think the big takeaway here is it's not so much the tool that you're using. You can take a more advanced camera somewhere and if you use it well, you can get better results out of it. But you got to remember, like, what's the point of taking a camera somewhere? On this occasion, it was all about having fun and just seeing what we can get away with. And the Polaroid definitely delivers. I know that in the film community, or rather the photography community more broadly, there's a lot of people online who will say that you need X, Y, and Z to be successful or good or even a legitimate photographer. To people like that, I say don't be a bully. What's good for you might not be good for everyone. Everyone's experience is personalized. If you want to just go out and have fun and shoot photos and not worry too much about process or the development afterwards, then yeah, a Polaroid is perfect for you. If you're like me and you consider yourself an artist, then, well, maybe it doesn't matter what you're shooting as long as you're getting great photos out of it. And then if you're someone who's more technically inclined, who cares a lot about mastery, then of course, like, maybe a Polaroid isn't the tool for you. But I think that's the point I'm trying to make. It's that it doesn't matter what you use. What matters is what's most important to you as the user. Again, don't let anyone bully you into spending a lot of money on something that's only going to be marginally better than what's more accessible to you. Most of my cameras are thrifted, and most of my cameras are older than me. They produce fantastic photos for a fraction of the price. So that's pretty much my yap for the day. Just wanted to talk a bit about this cool camera we found, and we've got a bunch of other cameras that I'd like to show off, so maybe I'll make some videos about that soon. But now I'd like to talk about our film lab, the Oracle Film Club. The Oracle Film Club is a film lab specializing in black and white 35mm 120 format and even disposables. You can mail it in from anywhere in the United States, offering variable sizes for scans, and if you want, we can even send your negatives back to you via mail. All the information for that is going to be found on our Instagram or Facebook at Oracle Film Club, or in the link in the description below. Just fill out the order form and follow the instructions, and we'll see your film soon. And that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Air circuit.